The pumpkins were really interesting early on just because I think they built these sonic landscapes. You can take that and make some claims in some sort of visual territory the same way they do with sound. It was such an exciting time in MTV. There was a lot of groundbreaking work almost weekly, that the pressure that I felt wasn't necessarily to go more commercial, but to do something that visually was completely fresh.
There's really some stunning visual stuff in here. It's just, you don't really get a true sense of the vocal performance, and when the record label saw the video, they lost it because the album came out strong and MTV wanted to play the video, and here we've got this obscure, weird video where there's almost no singing and it's just all visuals.
Cherub Rock was pretty simple in terms of what it was about, so I don't think that it really allowed for too much meddling. We're going to get what we get. It's, I think, quite different from their other videos where there are obvious art direction, style, cinematic qualities that need much more attention. I definitely wanted to be in a forest, so we went up to San Francisco. The city's surrounded by beautiful forests, but I must have looked at 40 different locations.
We were there, and the way the forest looked when it was lit up, it was like something out of a dream.
We put lightning strikes all over the place, which are these monster lights. They're actually fairly new at that point, but you see them all the time in videos now. And I think there are probably 16 or 20 peppered throughout the forest. And then we had other lights on dollies going through the trees, and it's fairly typical. You see that in videos, but the fact that we were in nature was a logistical nightmare. And the weather was great in the beginning, but it was a bit cold. And then probably around midnight it started to rain.
It was freezing cold, and we thought it was going to be the coolest thing in the world, and it really wasn't.
After we had shot, I took half the footage and processed it myself. Basically fill up the bathtub with chemicals, turn off all the lights, then throw the film in. Instead of following all the directions that they have on the box, I basically deliberately skip a step, or where they say you're supposed to spool out the film, I basically try to clump it together so parts of it stick together, and then when you pull it apart, part of the image gets yanked off, but there's also like this really cool silver glow around it, and a look that has a certain emotional quality just on its own. I mean, you can see an image that's totally blank, and because you're seeing decay and you're seeing movement, it's perfectly constituted, and then the next image has rips in it and holes in it and all sorts of aberrations. There's something super punk rock about it. Because we were shooting on Super 8, the editing was hell. Everything's running at different speeds, and it's really difficult, technically, just time consuming, to sync up all the footage, and I don't think I slept for like 5 days.
I think the lyrical content was about the musical climate at that time and about the industry swooping in.
The big labels were playing Pac-Man with all the indie labels. Indie rock was basically being gobbled by the corporate monster. What I tried to do with the visuals was totally indie rock.
For some reason, that video just got totally panned. Cherub Rock was really the song we thought would really launch the band, because it was very radio friendly, as they say, and it had some good lines in it. But the video is just basically us in the rain trying to play Cherub Rock, which is literally impossible. I can tell you from personal experience that it's impossible to rock.
We've generally characterized this video as a disaster, not because it's a bad video, it's an interesting video to watch, but what this video could have been unbelievable. And this is a classic example of us trying to stretch not a lot of money into something bigger. To the director, Kevin Kerslake's credit, he was trying to get the most out of that money, as were we. One great irony about this is the director literally remade this video with another band and did it right, and did it in black and white. I can't remember the name of the band, but I almost pooped my pants when I saw it on TV, because he literally just remade the exact same video with lighting up a forest and stuff like that. Very strange.
I remember seeing these huge banana slugs. I love nature, but these things were disgusting. Once you put it through the acid bath and it's very high contrast, you miss the banana slugs. So there was a nod to that in the video, that the slugs were somehow part of the industry. You see where I'm going with this? And we are the rock band Lost in the Wilderness. Okay, next question.